Okay, here we go. This is Haas again. Still working on the Toyota Sienna 3.3 liter. I'm gonna do the cleanup of the head. The block. Since this block it's aluminum, you don't want to take a. You don't want to be rough on it. I'll show you why. Okay, because you don't want to get one of those little die grinders, angle grinders, and start sanding on this thing, because this thing will just eat your metal. Okay. Okay, since the aluminum it's a soft metal, okay, I was explaining to you, you don't want to take this little tool, even though it feels kind of soft. You don't want to take it to this thing, because it will just eat your metal. Okay, it will just go through it and make a mess out of it. You're gonna have a lot of leaks everywhere, and you're gonna ruin your block. So I use this. Bought this sandpaper at the jar sale. It's like a belt. It came from a big machine, I imagine. This is a huge roll, and I cut it to little pieces that I need. It's like 40 grit, or I don't know what it is, but it's for heavy duty use. I don't know what it is for, but anyways, you can go to your local auto parts store and buy this type of sandpaper and do by hand. In this case, I'm using the ones that are already used, so this is kind of soft because I already used it on other parts on the metal block, I believe, and this is pretty rough. As you can see, this is, see, it kind of cracked right there because it's still new, hard, and these are all used and soft, and I don't go too crazy on the aluminum. Okay, it's gonna use you're gonna use a good quality cleaner, brake cleaner, a rag, sandpaper, some elbow grease. Okay, good old American way. Okay, so I'm gonna get cleaning. So what I do normally, I spray the heck out of it. Let me get this on. So I'll show you right here how I do it. Like that. And then with a rag or something, has to be a muscle shirt. Muscle shirts work best. Okay, so kind of dry it up. I do this so I can get rid of oily stuff and any kind of chemical on it. Then I get my sandpaper and go at it. On this type of block, or in this application, you don't have to scrape anything because the head gaskets are metal. I'm going to show you in a minute. Let me just kind of show you how I do it. Right here, so show you how I get it started. And I will show you the final product. Okay, this is how you prep your block. Already have the heads back from the machine shop. This thing had a lot of buildup inside the passages, so good thing I'm doing this, doing a top end job. Always try to scrape any the metal that you're gonna scrape. Use a scraper. This is what they taught me in school. Use a scraper that it's softer than the metal you're scraping. It doesn't work in most of the cases. Not for me anyway, but that's what they always recommend. Use a softer metal or a tool that is softer then the metal you're scraping, or then the surface you're scraping, if it is plastic or anything, you know, so that you don't damage it, you don't carve into it, and just leave the cylinders alone, just on the top. Okay, there you go. Pretty much almost done. So, few little areas you gotta get at. Circular motion, whichever motion you want, you know. Anyways, there you go. And you have to notice this, pay attention to this big hole and this little hole for the oil and water. This is for the bolts anyways, bolts, and this goes to the crankcase. This is the coolant passages. On the other side, they're on the same angle, one right here, one like I would say 2 o'clock of the other one. See the position? On this one right here, you gotta watch it, because on this one is on this position, and this is at the 2 o'clock if you're facing it the other way. But then this is like around, I will say, 10 o'clock. So one is this way and the other one is the other way. So they're far apart. They're not the same distance, see, as this right here from the center. I mean, you get the idea, right? I will show you. This is the gasket that goes on this side. And if you put them together, this is the gasket that goes on this side. Okay, they're like 5 ply or 4. I don't know how many plies. It's like 4 pieces put together, metal. Okay, so anyway, this is the firewall side, radiator side. Don't get them all confused, because if you were to put it like this, you'll say, oh, it's the same. It will fit in your guide, the dowel pins or guides for the block. But your holes right here won't line up. These 2 holes won't line up, okay? See, this hole's right here, and this hole's right here, and this other hole right there won't line up. Might line up right here. Check it out. It goes in. See, this is it for this side. Now check out the other one. It goes in, but then guess what? See? And you have to pay attention to this. I know some people might go, I'm not that dumb. But anyways, we're not perfect and we all make mistakes. So just a little pointer, okay? Just something to look out, okay? Take it out. All right. Okay, in this part, you gotta clean the hole for the bolts. Let's see, there's another one. The way I do it, since let's say I don't know anything about this vehicle, this is new for me, what I do, I put a screwdriver or something to see if it is a blind hole or through and through, and if it's water running on it, or the crankcase, or just nothing, right? So what I do to clean it, if you don't have shop air or anything, you can I use Q-tips, or sometimes this is what I do sometimes when I do mobile service. I go somewhere and I have to replace the head, you know, because whatever reason they just can. That's how I started, you know, doing mobile service. I'll put a bunch of thin pieces of blue towels, the shop towels, put them in there with the screwdriver and dry all the oil out of it, you know, and then use Q-tips, put them in the holes. And I still use that method today, you know. I use the old bolts, I use the old head bolts to drive them in to clean the threads. And then, well, here I use compressed air, right? But if you don't have those equipments, you any compressor or anything, what you can do is Q-tips, put them in there, and first you gotta measure the depth of the hole, because some Q-tips are too short, and they just you might end up throwing them in there and then not being able to get them out, you know. So and then if it is let's say a hole where coolant runs through, you can spray the heck out of the hole with brake cleaner, you know. So then you flush your system before you can fill it up with coolant. But in this case, I recommend that you know what you have in your house and use what you have. You know, if you cannot have the best, I believe in make the best of what you have. Okay, so I'm just gonna clean this right now. I'm gonna show you what I do. Okay, you grab a screwdriver like this, skinny, you know, or a piece of straw, whatever. Put it in the hole, and just, you know, good old way of doing it. You know how long that is, and then compare it to the rest of them, so that in case one of them, you know, not all of them are the same. Sometimes one of the holes is different, you know. So then you know your length, and you get your excuse me, I'm trying to do everything one hand. There you go. So it's about the same length, right? And you can test it, carefully test it in one spot. I say right here, you know, I kind of rub it against the sides and I put it in there. See, it's got water, a lot of water. I'm gonna use compressed air to clean this, but I'm just showing you how you can do it. You can put, like I said, a little vacuum and a little vacuum hose connected to like an adapter on your little shop vac, and put it in there and kind of suck all the oil and water out of there. A wet vac, you know, that will work. And then get the bolts and thread them back in there. And just in case you don't have a thread chaser or one of those step and die set, you know, you can do that. Also, that's how you prep your surface and the holes, you know, every single thing. You gotta do that to all of them. And then I'm not gonna do it on camera, but I will do it eventually. Just telling you how I will do it, you know, with the bolts. Sometimes I use the same head bolts, all of them. I put them all in there, and then start with that little impact that I have, a little 1/4-inch impact that I have. I'll put it all in there, and then until they hit to the bottom on the block, and then I'll take them out again, and then I'll blow air in it, and then it's ready, you know. And then I'll give it another wipe, and then I'll wipe the bottom surface of the head. Then I lay the gasket. Then I put the head on. Then I dip my my head bolts on oil, if it requires oil, or thread sealant or whatever, you know, and put them in there and drop them in. Okay, this is how you prep your block. Basically, in this case, this is aluminum. You gotta be very careful, okay? And then you can check out anything around that area that needs to be taken care of while you're doing this. Okay, then that's pretty much it. Oh, before I go, I wanted to mention that on this side, I use this bracket to take out the sprocket that goes on the cam. I put a little socket to keep it from spinning, and then I loosened up the bolt because I couldn't do it with the little thing that has here. On the other side, on this side, before you take the head out or before you do anything, don't remove the bracket that goes back here. I believe that's for the power steering. Leave it there, because you can put a little, in this case I used one of those snap-on 16mm socket. It fits in there perfectly fine. And then you pry it, you know, and put a breaker bar and a cheater bar, and, you know, break it loose. And then after that, you know, remove the head with the whole bracket. You're gonna need the bracket for removing any installation. Okay, that's how I do it. In case you don't have those fancy equipment or crescent wrench or whatever, put something that knows it's gonna handle it. Put it in there in between it, and there you go, man, to stop it from moving. Okay.